Really.
Yeah, but more than anything, fuck you.
Hello, friends. They heard all of that.
Very
It's fine.
good. We've been waiting
Perfect.
months to be able to do it again.
Yep.
We're finally safe.
Fuck you.
Oh, God.
How perfectly timed.
Yes.
Oh, truly perfect.
I did not know my sound was on.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Your sound's working? Well, that's good. Hello, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
We are here for the concluding episode of Tales of Settandor, simply titled Home. So we are going to introduce ourselves, and then I will read the recap, and we will pick up where we left off 3 months-ish ago.
Yeah. I'm John, and for the last time, I'm playing Ukubo.
I'm Sarah, and I'll be playing Curiel.
I'm Paul, and I'll be playing Arthas.
And I'm not Lawrence, and I'll be playing Hallam Farstrider.
Recap us, because...
Yep, nobody remembers. I don't fucking remember.
Just read me the whole story.
Yeah, once upon a time. Okay, so last episode, where 5 become 1. The party steps through Elrand's portal and find themselves standing at the edge of Ramshorn. However, this is not the Ramshorn that Hallam recognizes from his memories. The city physically looks the same, though the outside is surrounded by sharp shards of rocky earth jutting out of the ground, blocking the entrance and exit from the city. The group prepares, all of them disguising themselves as Arthas, at Ukubo's suggestion, in order to confuse Varian. Ukubo pulls out Hallam's gem and says, "Hello, it me, Arthas." Varian speaks in Ukubo's head, indicating that he knows it is not Arthas.
Totally
but for
was
them
Arthas.
to
I don't
come
know what the fuck that guy's talking
inside
about. I aced that. It me, Arthas.
Did you make a performance roll for
Yeah,
that?
I did. I rolled like a 4.
Yeah, how's it feel?
It was so bad.
Varian lowers a fragment of the rock, and the group enters the city all disguised as Arthas. It appears to be abandoned, people missing, things dropped on the ground as if they had simply vanished. There is no blood or signs of a struggle. Everyone is simply gone. They proceed until they find something they recognize, a building labeled the Grey Branch Shipping Company. They enter and find a large open space with a wooden floor, the back half of the room exposed to a small river. The room is filled with crates and barrels, several tables, as well as a grisly-looking table with shackles and crystal tubes that connect to a brass clasp that looks like it might hold a gem. They hear a clapping as Varian walks into the room on the platform above them, giving his villainous monologue, telling Arthas that he no longer needs him, and that he doesn't need to be an architect to split his soul. He tells them that they may be 5 strong, but so is he. He raises his arms and they see that he has gems embedded into his skin as he splits into 5 copies of himself, all different elemental color, matching the gems on his body. The fight begins with the group handily taking out several of these elemental soul fragments of Varian, as well as holding him steady, blinding him, silencing him, and knocking him to the ground.
Yeah, he got fucking wrecked.
It's true. As Arthas and Hallam smash into him together, the last elemental soul fragment is destroyed. While Varian's fragments did pump out some damage, their numbers proved too powerful for him, all of the party pulling their weight and stopping him. As the last fragment is destroyed, Varian's arms and legs return to the elemental color in which they started, and he begins to glow and smoke, screaming soundlessly as the silence spell stops his voice. His body smokes and explodes as Arthas and Hallam are pushed back from the blow. Standing in front of them where Varian was is a hulking elemental beast made up of rocks, ice, heavy wind, and fire. Arthas is immediately smashed by this icy hand, its cold claws digging into him. The group continues to smash this hulking figure, and though they are wounded, they too take this beast out together.
Such a
Fucking
happy...
hobbits! God! Get out of here!
Yeah, Arthur's getting clawed. We're leaving the Shire.
Never should have left the Shire.
The final blow coming from several of the party members together as brainless skeletons unleash a flurry of arrows. Arthas and Hallam are blown back as the figure explodes in an elemental blast, damaging the room. Everyone stands, alive and alright. Arthas walks up the stairs and finds the figure of Varian coughing silently, unable to speak or make sound. He looks to Arthas, pain and hatred in his eyes, as Arthas raises his greatsword. Varian tilts his head back, closes his eyes, and accepts his fate as Arthas swings the blade down, sending Varian's head tumbling down the stairs. Ukubo destroys the strange, horrible table, and everyone hugs and celebrates their victory. They proceed through another portal, heading back to the base of the mountain in the spot in which Arthas woke up. Elran leads them into a crack in the mountain to a door. Next to this door are spots for the party to insert their hands, the shape matching, except Ukubo, who shoves his face into it. The door cracks open and the party walks into this glowing white portal. Arthas steps through first and then pulls Curiel through, attempting to scare her. They walk through and find a beautiful mountainous space, seemingly on top of the mountain, the small town down a path below them, glowing with white shimmering light. Walking towards them are the figures of Pelor and Hector, as well as a second, smaller, boot-like looking Pelor. Hector explains to Arthas that Pelor sent him down in secret, filling his mind with false memories and goals after Istis and Kronos, creator of the Changekin melody, discovered what he was doing and demanded that she be brought back. Pelor also tells Arthas sheepishly that he severed his connection to the celestial plane and replaced it with his own, and hired a Changekin actor to play his part so that Arthas would not explode from channeling his full power or discover what Pelor had done. Istis and Kronos walk up and berate Pelor once more for being a mindless fool, whose mistakes almost cost them the life of their daughter. Brina excitedly yells, "Does that mean I'm God's granddaughter?" Istis tells her that technically yes, and creates Brina a sparkling white dress that matches that of Istis at her request. Ukubo jumps into Daddy Sylvanas' arms and speaks with him about all that has happened. He asks to no longer be a furbolg and is told that he cannot do that, but he can fix his voice. He pulls a potion from his side, and Ukubo drinks it, finally able to speak for the first time without fear of harming anyone or himself. Istis tells the group that in her scrying of the fates, discovered something that would threaten all of the planes. A man on Aldor would create a plague, and they needed to stop him without directly influencing the events on the material plane. And so they did, and they stopped him successfully by creating another life, putting it in the path of this first man, changing the course of events. The Fates revealed no further threats. The Fates did not reveal Virion. Istis reveals that the group of them are mortal beings, and that they are special for that reason. What they did in stopping Virion was not destiny, nor was it fate. It was a result of their bonded actions and powers that ensured their victory. Nothing that the gods did or could do was able to affect the outcome. Their lives exist beyond fate and beyond time, and they are given the choice of how to live their lives going forward. Istis asks them all, what would they like their lives to be?
Very good. So before we actually get into the playing, as Ashtray has noticed, Brina, Kelsey is not here. Kelsey and I are unfortunately no longer together as of this last weekend, and as such means she will not be here for the epilogue. But we came up with a fitting, considerate ending. So
Yeah.
if you would like to take it away.
Right. So, as you are asked by Istis what you want your fates to be, Brina excitedly looks over to all of you and says, I love all of you, and this has been a wonderful journey, but whatever you choose to do, I must remain with my parents. I missed out on my childhood and lived in a horrible forest, and I would like to be with them. I'm sorry that it means I'll have to say goodbye, but hopefully we can see each other again. She walks up and hugs all of you individually, her white dress flowing as she walks, and she takes Elran and Melody's hands as they look at all of you and nod silently. And a white portal opens up behind them, and they walk through, and as you see them walking, you see them change. And through the portal, you see a park that, Arthas, you recognize as the park from your memories. And you see Brina become a small child once more. Now Ran and Melody return to their elvish and gnomish forms. And they walk through and happily skip through this park, and the portal closes.
I'm gonna check my pockets.
Make a perception check.
It's actually pretty good. Oh yeah, it's great.
21.
You're about 10 gold shy.
Fuck.
True to the end.
And a stone has been placed in your pocket to replace the weight.
All right. I'll cherish the stone.
Thank you.
Remove that gold.
So Istis looks to all of you. If you would like to take some time, talk amongst yourselves, and decide what it is you would like to do, let me know. And she steps back from the party, and you may talk amongst yourselves and decide your fates.
Have to find Mr. Hollumhole.
Hollum's
me?
soul. I believe you mean Hollum's soul.
No, not hole. Need hole.
Need
The other-
soul.
Hole?
I'd ask if he knew which spelling he was going for, but
Only half Hollum.
Complete.
I think I
Complete.
understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Real.
Make complete whole. Nice.
Nice.
I can't do this. It's been too long.
Welcome back.
I forgot what it feels like to have to.
Does that make Arthas a donut?
Arthas has delicious jelly center.
That's true. That's inherently
That's what's
true.
behind the ambulance. You have a fucking donut in
That shit's canon.
And you flip it over, and it's just one of those
Sprinkles.
pink sparkly donuts.
Yeah, you just peel them off, and it's infinite. It's great. You guys haven't noticed. Don't know how.
It goes along with the sandwich bag.
Oh yeah, it's the snack afterwards. You have an idea?
I mean, I still need to get my parents settled into
Old folks home?
no. They're not that old.
Oh. Not know how long Turtle lives. Probably long time though.
No, not particularly. About the same as a human.
Uh-oh.
Why?
Doesn't kill a lot of humans. That timeline
Humans
might
die
be warped.
young. Very soft and
You're on the clock.
breakable.
But I do still have a mystery to get to the bottom of.
You need gang? Ukubo has drug connections still.
No, not that. Not
alright.
that.
Kaumba and family work hard.
Better roll deep.
I just assigned everybody a role. You're Shaggy.
Yep.
I'm Fred, unfortunately.
Yes.
Velma,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
Daphne.
There it is. It's canon. What does that mean about us? We complete each other.
Oh,
Give me my soul back.
how one help parents?
Well,
What mean settle?
we've moved them out of Norbury.
Carrie? Ukubo pick up Papa.
They were on their way already, right? I sent them,
Yeah.
and they were. What town were they going to?
I thought they were going to Verderall.
Yeah, pretty
That-
sure
yeah,
that's why
okay.
you were sending them to the dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because the dragon's there.
Mm-hmm. And Ukubo's Tavern.
Sure. Yes.
Gave Ukubo Tavern.
Yep.
But yeah, I would like to make sure they're settled into Verderall, and I am also curious about who's framing Dragonborns in.
Pancaf.
Yes, that town.
Hometown.
Hometown that we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. We walked by it. It looked alright.
We sailed by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, besides that, I don't have any further further plans? We've seen most of the continent. That's what I set out to do.
Ukubo need be tree.
Small or big?
Big.
Like a lightning tree? Or
Bigger.
Bigger.
Ukubo want to be the tree.
World tree?
Uh-huh. Tree father. Ukubo want to be...
Sylvanas.
Ukubo want to be great tree.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh. Ukubo have leaves. Ukubo have sticks. Kind of already tree.
Kind of already a tree.
Uh-huh.
I think I can help with that, Ukubo.
Ukubo could make potions from leaves.
That's true.
Help people.
I think that would be a very noble cause, Ukubo.
And fruit for fruit juice for Mr. Juice.
All right.
Mango.
All right.
Pineapple.
Okay.
Apple.
Okay.
Blueberry.
Blueberry.
All right.
Pie. Well, like pie.
All right.
Ukubo want be all fruit.
We can do the
The
fruit.
all fruit tree. You've heard of the all father. I'm the all fruit.
Chamber of all fruit.
Yep.
I think we can make that happen, Ukubo.
Uh-huh.
All right. The three of you.
Would like to retrieve Holland's soul somehow.
All right.
Yes, that way we can give him back what I've been borrowing.
All right. We can make that happen.
They've been sharing whole. Gotta keep clean.
And I need a really big axe. Ukubo asked to be tree, but not for long.
Helping.
Ukubo, get down!
Any other requests? You've earned whatever you'd like.
I don't suppose there's anything that could be done for Ramshorn.
Ramshorn will be repaired. The people will be put back as they were.
Very well.
All right.
And what happens to this world?
This world will remain outside of our jurisdiction. We will make sure that we keep it safe, but will not influence in it. You are free to watch over it if you choose. We will keep our eyes out, but will not meddle in the dealings of this world or the people that live here. The ones who do not have memories will be given memories so that way they feel whole.
Whole.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We will make this world whole again.
Good.
Ukubo can be its tree.
That's right.
You can be the turtle.
Arthas can be the sun.
The turtle?
Moon.
Sure.
The single turtle?
Uh-huh.
Can only be one.
Highlander style.
I have to fight every other turtle.
The world turtle.
I just imagine Curiel on the beaches.
Beach is just punching.
No!
I'm the turtle.
I can only be the only one.
Just throwing them.
Using your lightning.
Yeah.
Not in my
Clearing the
Settandor, you
beaches.
don't.
Start at Pencast.
And work your way west.
Fight every turtle.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Sure.
That's not what I.
It was
I
just
think
an
I need to
idea.
clarify that. I'm first of all not a turtle, and second, I have no desire. Are there turtles even in? Have we come across any turtles?
Ukubo has turtle shield.
So there must be turtles.
Pause for 1 second. I gotta remove this. Brinkwood.
Oh, the Brinkwood
Other
ad?
stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hold, please.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to do anything else, or?
Where Ukubo be tree? Ukubo want be by Paumba? By Terransby?
You could probably be a. What are the woods outside of Terransby called?
Falkirk Glen? If I can pull that from my brain from 11 months ago.
I mean, do you have the map?
Make the DM pull it from his brain from 11 months ago.
Hey Don, what woods am I from?
Sounds right.
The old Sounds Right woods.
Nailed it.
I fucking remember. You probably remember
It is the
more about this
Falkirk
campaign
Glen.
than I
I
do.
don't
at
know where
this
my
point.
map was. I was looking for it.
Yeah,
It's the
It's
Falkirk
the
Glen.
Falkirk Glen.
I had them. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember. This book is tiny. I don't know where I put them. There must be a folder in my drawer somewhere. But
Sounds right.
Yeah, Lynn is absolutely right. I have a legitimate turtle child as my shield. Like, it's not a dead turtle shell.
Every time you use it.
Oh my god.
Flails like it's trying to walk.
Shield acting up today. Oh.
All right. Well,
is there anything outside of this world?
there are other worlds, but
Yes, tell us about it.
Indeed.
Lore drop us for
We
about
would love
30
to hear
minutes
about
straight.
these other worlds.
Could you tell us about the
You
99
certainly
others?
have prepared.
she just runs.
Oh, I gotta go.
Get back! You can't run away from me!
You just get chained to the ground. The green screen's ripped off, and she fucking runs.
Yeah, dad bod fucking Paylor just like, you guys gotta stop.
He's talking about the actor?
Yeah. Guys, it's a paid gig. Like, give it up.
Yeah, you say Paylor, and the actor like looks over. You're like, no.
Get out! Why are
course
you
not
still
you.
here?
Oh, he's really committed, though. Props to him.
No, I think he left. I think you yelled at him.
Method
Told
acting.
him.
Sunborn.
There are
Unborn.
there are other worlds, but we do not plan to experiment further. We will allow them to fulfill their destiny and live their lives, and we will make all worlds whole.
Turtle just want help parents. What turtle want be?
I mean, I've always wanted to travel, but what do you do when you've already seen everything that there is?
Could come with to find my soul.
Could tell people about travel. Storyteller.
That I guess I could do.
Write book. Life
Yeah.
of Turtle. A turtle tale.
If you do choose to be a storyteller and one that plays music alongside it, perhaps, I think that is something that we could help with.
It sounds
Like
a
backup
good idea.
singers?
Like,
Sunborn.
you guys are gonna copy edit that book?
Oh my fucking god.
Help me fill in the blanks where they exist.
We can, yes.
I can't imagine that everyone would take too well to knowing the story of this world's creation.
Probably not, and we will not give you that much information, but... and she puts her hands together and spins them as you see light being whisked from the areas around at the edges of this place, forming into her hands a set of glasses, and she hands them to you. And you can see that there are dials on the edge of the glasses. These glasses will allow you to glimpse into the other worlds on this plane, so that way you may visit, in a sense, safely, without influencing them, and write your stories.
Sounds perfect.
Which one? This is Istus, right?
Yeah.
Kronos is still here too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time Man.
Yes.
Time glasses. Can see backwards.
Yeah, and he takes it and he
Can't see forwards.
pulls
Can't
some
see forwards.
pulls from some like gears and things from his shirt and
Fuck it.
he twists the gears onto the side and spins it. It sounds like a bicycle wheel and free,
Like the
free
spokes
line.
on the side.
Yeah.
Very good.
There you are. This will allow you to
Time dial.
view worlds in various times.
Oh! This isn't what I wanted.
This is from the bad world.
You may visit any point in time or in space from the safety of wherever you are.
Thank you.
Of
It's a lot
course.
of power.
Reality television.
Become the villain now.
What's all today? Yeah, she's always multiple steps ahead of us because she can see into the fucking future. Oh no.
Maybe now
VR
that
headset.
maybe now that she can see through time, she'll be able to park a boat.
Tears.
Quick, I gotta find a time.
In what world can I fucking sail? None! Why?
I have proficiency
In boat
in
now.
boat.
Every time you touch the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Please roll.
Hold on.
For the two of you, we have something specific in mind, but for your request, and Istis and Kronos put one hand to each other and pull away as light forms into a large glowing blue shimmery key.
Oh, what's going on over there, Lady Nat One?
Did you actually nat one? You're never sailing. It's
Yep.
not happening. It's really never.
Point!
Yep.
There it is.
And they hand you two halves of a key on a chain. That each of you has one half of this
One
key.
keychain.
Yes, one keychain. Thanks. No.
CM?
It says, "Welcome to Settandor."
Oh, nice.
Thank you for your time here.
The key to the world.
Yeah. The world key.
This will
The
allow
world
you
tree.
into the Vault of Souls, so that you may retrieve Hallam's soul.
Is there any reason you didn't do that before?
Laziness and,
Well,
miscommunications.
If Palor had asked, perhaps. This is not something we normally do. This is not a
Just looking at Palor like,
a normal thing that happens.
Like, really sorry, dude.
This is not something we often give out to people. It's a single use, so make the best of it.
Is he just, sitting on a little chair in a forever corner?
He's
Just,
on
staring
like a
at
stump, just
Yeah,
kind of
just-
sheepishly
oh,
looking at the
man.
ground.
I really fucked up this time. I forgot about the Vault of Souls. I forgot that was a thing.
Oh, right, the Vault of Souls.
Totally should have just went there.
Yeah, now that you mention it, that would have been a really great idea.
You guys are much better at this than me. 100 tries, still, I'm really just not
yeah,
getting it.
Really sorry that you went through that excruciating process to split your soul. Idiot! I could have just gone to the Vault of Souls. Why didn't you ask?
Fucking guy.
Going to attack Palor.
And for you, Ukubo, your wish to be a tree in this world will be granted. You will be the largest and most beautiful tree in Settandor.
All fruit.
Of course, as you wish.
Tree.
All right.
Go by.
Before you go on your individual journeys together, is there anything you would like to say to each other?
Go by.
It's been fun.
I imagine I'll see the two of you.
Indeed.
Tree.
I'll know where to find you.
Big.
Hmm.
Sky.
I won't let him cut you down.
Mr. Hallam. Nice man.
I'd like to see them try.
Mm-hmm.
Say that now. but-
Fog.
All right, Mountain Boy.
Ready.
We got a soul vault to go into.
I'm sure it's not confusing at all.
Sure.
Great.
Totally.
It's totally not a labyrinth.
Use your time glasses. Tell us if we make it out.
How's it looking?
It's foggy.
Make a history check.
Why did you ask?
Gotta know.
No.
Gotta know.
Does knowing change the outcome? And I'm gonna look at Kronos.
15.
What are you?
This shit hasn't happened before, dude. Like,
Why would Kronos know?
You think we've made fucking time glasses before? This is all new territory.
we literally just whipped those up right now.
Yeah. They weren't even gonna be time glasses. She asked.
Technically, he asked. I didn't even.
Ukubo think for present for you.
Did you find anything?
Oh no.
Okay. There you go. They're dead.
They did. Uh-oh.
It's over.
Did you actually just write? Uh-oh.
I don't know.
I think you'll be fine.
Do I believe?
19 plus damn it, what is it? Insight? Yeah?
Yeah.
It's been so long.
Versus
22.
What is it?
Deception.
Deception.
Deception!
That's a. Oh god, I have to math. 16.
22.
I'm not lying.
You'll be alright.
Oh, okay.
She's not lying, but she did say, I think you'll be fine.
All signs point to yes? Like,
It's like shaking an 8-ball. Seems fine.
Try again later. We're just shaking her.
No,
Tell us.
You'll be fine.
Before Ukubo tree.
I got three words. I didn't get like your entire
Oh
journey.
my god.
don't let them help.
You see how big this piece of paper is? There's not like an entire like. First they go do this, and then watch out for this. It's fine. You're fine. I don't know what's gonna happen, but you're fine.
Okay. A little less confident now.
I'm gonna kill him and have both souls.
Oh.
Why would I do that to myself?
Before Ukubo tree, Ukubo have present
Present.
turtle. Turtle. Ukubo buy in Navalon at Pottery Man. Like turtle,
Thank you, Ukubo.
flower. One for each friend.
Thank you.
Ukubo also try writing
Oh.
tree.
All right. You can read it out loud or not. That's up to you.
I don't think I can. It says, Turtle. Thank for teach read with letters. Like letters, make happy. Not happy before friends. Thank for make happy. Your friend, Ukubo. Little heart. It says little heart.
They say put little heart at end of letter. So Ukubo put little heart.
Thank you, Ukubo.
Mm-hmm.
Took it away with my turtle.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Ukbo.
Tree.
All right. Is everyone ready? Okay. And Istis and Kronos step together once more and put their hands together and trace the outline of a gate, and a portal crackles into life, a glowing white light similar to the one that you had seen when you came to this place. And they step to either side of it and join their hands. You may step through and go home.
Give everyone a hug first.
Pat Turtle on the head. Shell.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
When we make it back, I'll come find your tree.
Ukubo give fruit whatever want. Make house out of Ukubo.
No.
No.
Tree house. Ukubo have forever wood.
Excuse me?
Ukubo have wood forever now.
Come again?
Sorry, I'm not really understanding.
Have leaves if hot.
Good.
Have wood if need home. Fruit if hungry.
Good. Makes sense. Sounds like a nice place.
Home. For who need home, Ukubo can be. Paumba. Squirrels.
All right.
I'm gonna look up at Tree Father. Ukubo going to be bigger tree than you.
That's true, Ukubo, and he just pats you on the head. You'll be a great tree. And you see leaves starting to form on the outside of your arm slowly.
You may want to go through before that finishes.
I'll run through.
Okay.
I'm gonna
next?
teleport through before Arthas can go.
Yeah, just Hollum standing next to you and then he isn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at him. And then I'm just gonna teleport through.
I can't wait till he can't do that. And I clap my hands together and I look over to Curiel and say, "Thanks for finally letting Ukubo go." And I'll misty step through the portal.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk through the portal like a normal person.
Okay. You step through the portal, and for a minute, you are all falling through darkness, and you see stars around you. And you are all floating downwards, watching each other as you fall. And at the bottom, you see a circle and a light. And you pass through it, and you see yourselves above Settandor. And you fall further and further to the ground above the Falkirk Glen, below Verdural, in an empty space. And the ground approaches rather quickly, and your vision fades.
Did they kill us?
No, you're dead.
You're all
They're
dead now.
And you awaken, having successfully completed your task to retrieve the soul, which we will hopefully do in a one-shot. You have completed your task of helping your parents and solving the mystery. And where you are now, a year after the events of last episode, are in the newly established town of North Wynn, in between the Falkirk Glen and Verdural, and you find yourselves standing in the Mountain Boys Tavern.
It's that boys with two eyes.
It is. 2 eyes and a Z. And you see the logo at the front of the tavern, on one side a sun and the other a moon. And people are laughing and enjoying the drinks that you serve. You see the sun shining through the open window, of which there are many. You hear the laughter of children outside playing amongst the town. And in the corner, you hear music. And you look over and you see Curiel playing her instruments and telling her stories as she does. And at the door, you see a familiar face. And he pushes his way inside and says, Arthas!
Juice!
Where's your cups? I gotta clean them. You've done it to me. It's only fair.
What are you talking
Where's
about?
your best cup? I need your best
I don't know
cup.
what you're talking about.
Where is it?
I don't have a best
Behind
cup.
the counter.
Okay, thank you. And he dives over the counter.
Oh no, don't do it! And I run upstairs. Decoy cup, fool!
No one outsmarts the Scooby Gang.
We've learned. I'm gonna dash upstairs and hide it.
Yeah, you hide your cup in your things, and you just hear like the clacking of footsteps up the stairs. And he just looks over to you. I know it's in here, Arthas. But
Don't.
I'll let you have it. I'll let you have this one. Let's go downstairs and have a drink.
All right.
Come on.
Okay.
And you head back downstairs. And as you walk, you look out the window and you see the very, very large tree that has been there since you established your town, complete with fruits and vines that weave their way through the town, the leaves covering the roofs of the buildings, shading the children as they play, a centerpiece for Northwind. And Juice looks at you and says, so what's up with the big fucking fruit tree out there? And yeah, what can we look at that, all of us as a group? Like,
Sure.
you
You didn't look at it when you came in?
well, I did, but I just needed to make sure that I'm not seeing shit. Maybe you could get me a drink first. And,
Got literally all the fruits on it.
yeah, I mean, you've hit the fucking jackpot. I had to source my stuff from all over the land, and you have this monstrosity.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's great for you. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
What kind of ales do you have? What do you recommend I drink?
I don't do the recommending. Harlem does.
The usual.
All right, yeah. Pour him
The whole menu is just the usual.
he pulls his cup out and sets it on the counter.
Yeah, I'll give him the usual.
And he takes it.
Spicy.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
He takes a sip. Ooh, that certainly is the usual, isn't it? And he puts his arms around both of you. Come on, Curiel! He starts walking outside.
I'm gonna race Arthas to the tree.
Why?
I'm gonna teleport as often as I can.
Okay.
Just
So you
dash,
both
dash,
just, like,
teleport.
dash
Yep.
away and teleport.
Yeah, I got that
out
head
of his
start
arms.
You're
there.
walking like a normal person
I
again.
like dancing.
Yeah, Juice like puts his arm out as you walk up to him and links arms with you and dances through the town. You see as you walk through the town the figures of Abram running around with his children under the leaves of the tree and flying their kites. You see in the distance a bookshop and your father cleaning the window of it. He nods at you. And you're continuing to walk towards this tree, and from behind the tree, a hulking figure runs out. Oog, friend! And runs towards the two of you and tackles you to the
I'm
ground.
gonna teleport past him. I gotta get to this tree first.
Tackles are
I'll go back to I'll go back to Hugger, but I gotta get to this
That's
tree.
fine. He tackles you. Good morning, Oog, friend.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good.
Could you let me get up?
Uh-huh.
As I'm like
He
struggling.
steps back.
Thank you.
Ook make blue shoes. Haven't seen Ukubo. Long time.
Are those suede?
Uh-huh.
He's evolving.
They're very nice.
Yeah.
For you,
Thank you.
one shoe.
Oh,
Hallam get other shoe. Different sizes. Won't fit.
are you gonna make another one this size?
Two shoes. No. Only ever two shoes.
Am I at the tree
in
now?
there.
Yeah, you're at the tree.
Turn around and look at Arthas and just.
And,
I got a shoe.
and Oog just looks over to you. Hallam. Shoe. He
I guess I'm gonna try and catch this
footballs
shoe.
it to you, yeah.
What kind of check you want me to make for that shit?
Dexterity, I guess.
Ah,
No, that ain't happening.
Okay.
that's a 10.
Okay.
I fumble
Yeah.
that shoe like it's real life.
Yeah, you follow and it cracks into the tree and dances down and then lands at your feet and you pick it up. And Oog runs past you. Hello, Curiel.
Hello, Oog.
And he continues to run. Yeah, so you get to this extremely large tree. The beautifully gnarled bark wrapping upwards and around as the large canopy shades numerous buildings and the vines weave through the town. And Juice looks at it and fondly and just reminds me of Ukubo. He really loved fruits. I wish he was here with us. It's been a long time. You see Ukubo's face in the center of the tree.
Hello.
Oh my god.
Tree.
Has he done that before?
No.
Oh shit! I was
You
wrong.
haven't seen him in a year.
Ukubo,
Uh-huh.
were you always able to do that?
Uh-huh. Tree.
Can you make
Yes,
feet? I think we have shoes for you.
Just poke out my bare,
Yep.
like,
I'm gonna give him this Oog
wrinkly
shoe.
Ukubo feet.
Yep. You get
Ah.
Ukubo feet that have some like leaves and twigs sticking off at odd ends.
Ah.
You hear a cart has Poomba and Mrs. Poomba and baby Poomba round the edge of the tree.
Welcome home.
And Juice just walks up to you and just like ruffles your weird tree hair.
Can you, I'm gonna try to pull at his feet. Can you,
Ah.
can you come out of there?
Like a dryad.
I'm just pulling.
Yeah, you pull the tree-like figure of Ukubo out, looking a little bit more akin to Groot than Ukubo, but still distinctly Ukubo.
Groot Kubo.
Just weird like cracks of bark in his skin.
Looks a little different.
Tree.
Yep, definitely still you.
Uh-huh.
Good. You enjoying it?
Uh-huh. Children play. People get fruit. Paumba have house.
Drunks definitely piss on you.
Uh-huh.
Yep, I've seen it once or twice.
Uh-huh. Ukubo get to just be the drugs now.
Wait, do you also grow drugs?
Uh-huh.
You've been holding out on us.
Potions.
The good ones.
No, not potion. Oh, okay, only the good ones.
Good potions.
Could put some in some alcohol and make an ailment.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Writes itself. Hello, Sarah. Ukubo like being tree.
I'm glad
Good.
you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Children get to swing from branches.
You can see several children are laughing and swinging from the vines that are hanging from the large, tall branches.
And if fall, Ukubo can catch. Keep safe.
It's like the giant swamp tree from Avatar.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a big-ass bonsai tree.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Bonsai trees are
Oh,
small.
Yeah, but it's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Super-sized bonsai.
super. So, do you want to come to the tavern?
Uh-huh.
No drink?
Uh-huh. Just gonna reach up and yank one of my pieces of fruit off. Ow. Kind of sting now that outside.
Really?
Uh-oh. Cannibalism.
Yeah, I was thinking it.
Oh well. Just gonna
One.
bite into the apple and start walking towards the tavern.
One last try.
Maybe he can do it now that he's whole.
Why did I waste the nat 20 before we started playing?
What
is it? It is a 5 plus 8. 13.
It's as good as it's been, but still
It's
not
as good
quite.
as it's gonna get.
Good as it's gonna get. Yeah, your ale just kind of spills
I
a
mean,
little bit.
I need to know if that's why I couldn't do it before.
True.
Nah. It's an 11. It's worse.
It's
It's worse. He was actually a little bit more talented at that than I am.
Oh my god.
You've been doing it for longer, so
It's not easy, okay?
To be fair.
What is it, Sarah?
I rolled. What is this, performance?
Mhm.
Yep.
So I rolled an 18 plus 13.
As she does it, her face morphs into Ukubo's for a moment.
Impressive.
It's not really fair. You've got those time glasses. You can just keep rolling it back.
She's been practicing.
Yeah, she does. You just like, oh.
Tells no one.
You'd think it would make you better at sailing, but you can't win them all, I guess. I'm just gonna walk away. Back to the bar.
Scary's just like,
What the fuck, man?
I thought you did a
Crushing
good
my
job.
dreams.
You looked like Ukubo.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
It's a little freaky.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Scary. Could not like.
I just looked to the ocean.
Now you understand Ukubo.
Scary.
Every time you did it.
Uh-huh. Blue.
Any other words come to mind? Tree?
Tree. Haha. Funny.
Hello.
Okay. So you make your way back towards the tavern. Several of your friends that have joined you in this town following you. And you push open the doors and you feel a warmth, a happiness wash over you. And for the first time, all of you feel whole, you feel safe, and you feel home. Thank you for playing.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it.
Indeed.
You fucking
Thank you,
pulled it
Don.
off.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled it
Thank
all
you.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sorry about the note.
I'm still concerned about what Don gave you.
It
No,
said. I crumpled it up.
says
like,
all is good.
Yeah, all is good.
All is good.
Like that's all I got. I mean, there's nothing more I can give you.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
You're fine.
Well, depends on how you define good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you made it through my chaotic ramblings.
You've solved your puzzle.
You've solved my unsolvable
Mm-hmm.
puzzle.
Turtle. How's it feel?
It's weird.
Right?
It is a weird feeling, even though we were, pretty much done after the last episode. It just feels different now.
I know, right?
'Cause it
Knowing that
just is.
there's not more to be done
Yeah.
is a strange sensation and a farewell.
Yeah, it is. It is very weird.
But no, genuinely, dude, very proud. Like,
you.
despite whatever issues came up, you handled them. You continually combated them instead of what other people probably would have done, which is bail on the campaign or think that it was not salvageable. You fucking pushed through it, and that's courageous.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. No campaign's ever fucking perfect, dude.
No.
We're human beings. It's the point.
There's no drafts.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
No editing.
Yes.
No editing.
This is all a rough draft.
Except, what was it, Tinkerbell?
Mm-hmm. That,
Honestly, I still don't remember the fuck.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
you made
who it
that
is.
shit up, John.
I don't recall having ever said those
I
words.
don't recall those statements.
Sounds like something I said, but
Phoebe Bell and Megadeth's child, absolutely Tinkerbell, 100%. I was like, I gotta find this fucking kid. There's like a fucking fairy in this town, and no one said shit.
Yeah, maybe she grants wishes or something.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she knows where the Vault of Souls is. Oh my god.
well, chat or you guys have any comments or
The fuck is
questions?
Tinkerbell, man?
I don't have an answer for
No,
that
I'm
one.
kidding.
If anybody has any questions in chat or comments, I know it's been a while, so it's going to be hard to, recall things, but I'll do my best.
Mm-hmm.
Given the chaotic.
Yeah,
land was.
circumstances of the last 3 fucking months that have absolutely severed, you know, the
My
established
brain.
good connection that we
Yeah.
had. I mean, even just for all of us, like, that's what I feel really the most sad for you about is, like, you know, I wish we were able to get this done right before.
Yeah.
But,
Like I know at the time, like I had figured out what I wanted to do, and by the time we got to it, it was like, it's gone.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, I've lost it.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of questions for me, like, what was your starting point for the theme of the campaign?
So
Because you said it was like the architect stuff, right, with the terraforming.
So the architect stuff I added like way later to fill holes that I didn't think about in the beginning, and I was just
Sure.
like, oh fuck, how am I gonna like end it? Like, where is this gonna go story wise? And trying to tie everything together. So originally, the world was created by Ganassi elemental terraformers. That concept was kind of shoved into this larger, like, godly creation. But originally, Arthas was going to be a Ganassi. So your, like, red arm was not going to be from Pelor. It was going to be because you were a Ganassi and you were being masked as a human.
Oh shit.
So that was the original.
Yeah.
That was the original bamboozle. As I was going to, you were
Yeah,
going
your
to.
locket.
So you're always gonna get me.
I was. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
your locket, he
You
told
can't
me,
escape.
was what was masking you.
Yeah, your locket was
Oh.
masking and that's why the gem is orange. It's containing your elemental
Depending on when you made
heritage.
that choice, I don't know when you switched it, because there was a point where like I was gonna destroy this thing.
Yeah,
So
it would you would have morphed back and been horrified. You would have smashed it and turned into a fiery orange person.
my racials though, yay!
Yeah. So I made the concept for that was what I wanted to do. I wonder if I still have my like original
I really like it.
notes from my
Logo.
phone, because a lot of this was written like
No, I love that.
on my work trip. I was just whenever we were done, I sat with a laptop just huddled over, or I would like in the bathroom type something quickly on my phone to like make some of the characters. Let me see if I can find the like original starting point. So the original concept was, especially for you, was that the Ganassi were doing still experiments on Dragonborns. Also, Ping and Pong are not goblins. This isn't something that you guys could have figured out. Again, it was something that like I wanted to implement, and then we just got past it, and I never got to. They were failed experiments on Dragonborn.
Oh.
So they're just like tiny little goblin things that they were trying to make Dragonborn from dragons, and fucked up and got little squishy people. So they were just like, well, we don't know what to do
Little
with these,
squish
so let's
boys.
just throw them in the world.
Get rid of them.
So that's still like tracks with like the
Yeah,
gods
that
and
still
everything
tracks
else.
with that. And several of the Dragonborn like escaped and traveled over the mountain. And you would have been one of them that survived, obviously, like your family. And originally my concept for Elran was like he went there because he didn't want to do magic anymore. Like he had fucked up some spell
To
like,
Aaron Rock, you mean?
yeah, it's
Okay.
killed somebody, done something. I hadn't thought that far
Okay.
ahead with that, and he wanted to basically just like isolate himself and become a complete recluse. And weird things like having Iluin Ilo, which means deep blue in Elvish, deep blue lake, is literally like Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you just take the land straight down. They're just like they're testing their terraforming stuff, so they just
Okay.
drop it straight down. So that's why that was seawater.
Yeah, connected at the bottom.
Yeah, that's why there was very like weird things in the world as far as that concept. Let me look through here. So originally, I was going to have the humans poisoning the trees in the Nowlan Woods, which forced the elves to abandon their city, and eventually use their magical prowess. So then they go north, and then they use their magical prowess to take over and get revenge on the humans that destroyed their home, and then that ended up being twisted as
mutated
we...
into Virion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which he was always going to be one of the original terraformers.
Yeah,
He had
and a
fled-
villain. Mm.
Yeah, he had fled after a disagreement, wanting to kill people and use their souls and fight with you. So that all still tracks and was just
Right.
morphed into, the splitting of souls and things. But the reason your eyes glowed was, again, because of the... it was originally going to be because of your heritage and this, like, elemental damage, and then I just kind of morphed that to fit the new Virian narrative and using, like, the celestial god stuff, which I wrote, like, really late in the game. A lot of the god stuff, like...
Oh my goodness! So if
Yeah.
I had like done that, it would have been like, nope, we're on
It
this
would have been
track
different,
now.
but it was like some of the stuff didn't make sense, and I needed a way to make sure, and especially to tie in Holland,
Yeah.
which that happened because John said, like, what if he's his brother? And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Fuck.
What if?
Hilarious.
That's a really good idea.
You don't say.
And it made your character feel more tied to the narrative instead of just like a pawn to Virian. So, yeah, so the stuff with Virian pretty much remained the same, just...
Yeah, just got adapted a little bit.
Yeah, just got adapted a
Yeah.
little bit, but he
But that's
gained
normal.
he infiltrated and gained rank in the Elven town, and then did failed experiments in the woods, tainted the forest, and then during the war kills the other general.
So, okay, my question is, if the humans were poisoning the forest, why?
I hadn't thought that out.
Okay.
In my original
because,
notes,
like,
there
to
wasn't
me,
there wasn't
they
a
were the
thing.
ones profiting off of the strands because they sold the clothing.
Yeah.
So, like, that was why I wanted to go to Willowsdale or Willsdale. I forget which one was the one that sold.
Willsden.
But that's why I wanted to go there because, like, my thought process was
exactly, because when we talked about
Yeah.
the world history, that's
Well,
why
yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
angry with the elves. Was like they slaughtered
Slaughter-
people for
Yeah.
no reason.
Exactly.
That
That's
was
why I
the-
was like literally
right.
about to
Yeah.
attack a town.
Yeah,
I know.
that was the original, and then as I started to write the next part with Virian, I immediately went back and was like, all right, this doesn't make
Makes
sense
sense
anymore.
now,
So
yeah.
I took that out. It literally says, like, nope in my phone. But, like, that was my thought process originally. Because I wanted to save it still, but I just put,
Yeah,
like, I'm
needed to
not
change
using
it.
this. But as I was, like, going through, that was the original concept, and I was going
Okay.
to go back to that. That made it not very far into the development of the world. Same with, those who didn't agree, they went to Navalon, the rest went north to the two cities, so that stayed the same.
What was Norbury before you changed it? Was it legitimately how Kelsey had done in her backstory with being like a trafficking town?
Yeah, so it was entertainers for the rich folk in Norbury.
Yeah.
It was always, I always had the concept in my head of like a Ren Fair type town, like where there's just a lot of stuff. There's
Yeah,
stands
shops
with food
and
things.
stands, sure.
With having the still the trafficking thing, but that was going to be a bigger part of it. And then I decided okay, so if I'm doing a Ren Fair thing, like having these two districts and having a lot of this be like not real, like let's make this actually a Ren Fair, like that's
Yeah.
an interesting concept.
Sure, yeah.
And then it was so like overblown and complicated that a lot of the original stuff just kind of got lost.
Yeah, okay.
With following the like main narrative line, and that just kind of like
I really
got
like
lost.
that town though. That was a lot of fun.
Norbury?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was stressful for me because, like, I need to know how I can solve things. And I tried so many fucking things in that town. Like,
Yeah.
going to the jail multiple times, trying to talk to Flint Whistle fucking Goldsmith, trying to, infiltrate his fucking house, talk to, like, his people. Because, like, I knew he was supposed to be a bastard. Like, I knew he was a bad person. Like,
Yeah.
that was literally what Brina's backstory was about. Was he was the guy who ran...
Well, I mean, I feel like you could have a justification for it. You could have like, it's weird how you'd have to twist it because I think the way Don twisted it was good. Where it's like it seems wrong on the surface, but it's actually a good thing, right? Isn't that how you twist it?
Yeah, kind of. It's
Yeah.
it
So
seems
from
like
from
people are
Brina's
being-
perspective, it's like this is bad. This town is bad. But it
Well,
wasn't
that
really.
aspect of it was still bad. Like,
Yeah.
the people
Oh,
were
okay.
still being
Like,
trafficked.
Dick Tips was the one who was rescuing them.
Yeah, but
Like-
that was still happening.
Yeah, because, like, that was the whole aspect of Melody's character was she was literally a girl who was supposed to be sold at the fair
Right.
and betrayed that and, like, damaged everything and, complicated matters and then fled, lived in the woods, isolated alone, like, as a recluse, and would continually each year plague and try to stop it. That was why when you integrated dick tips, it was like, it was difficult to know whether or not that was something that Melody would have known.
Yeah.
Because, like, timeline-wise, you know,
Well, because
obviously
that was
there's-
something that I added after the
Later.
fact when
Yeah.
when it was like, okay, we've missed out on Kelsey's narrative. Like, I fucked this up. I need a character to tie other
that
stuff back in.
in.
So I was like, well, I want a fucking riverboat. So now there's a river.
Sure.
And I was like, this can be, you know, Varian flexing his power. Like, that makes sense. Because I saw it somewhere and I was like, I want a fucking riverboat. So now there's a river.
Yeah, I thought that was
Gonna
great.
rip
It was
it
such
up.
a
That's
twist. It was
shit.
like, wait, this wasn't here?
Yeah, it was literally thought of that like, you know, the week prior to the episode. I was like, yep, this is good. Let's throw this in here. You know, and then I made dick tips because I needed a character to tie into stuff, and I made it where he had, you know, set up that to rescue people. Because I just needed some tie-in for Kelsey and for Brina just to make that feel rewarding and not like lost completely.
Trying to think of other questions.
Yeah, so originally Elran was also a Ganassi, and he disagreed, same with you, about killing people and using their energy to like power the gems and do stuff. So he just like left and escaped to live amongst these people, and just like lived alone and maybe watched over the land from Aaron Rock. Maybe he didn't. I hadn't decided yet at the time. The Red Brook Forest, the water that comes down from that mountain, the red water, is just like magical runoff from behind the mountain. That's why, you know, it like cleaned all of your
And
stuff
healed us and
healed
whatnot.
you.
Yeah.
So that stayed the same. One of the things that you guys... I'll go back and read the things that I posted that you guys missed after we go through this. Let me see. Most of this is just like basic character stuff, which a lot of it stayed the same. Ramshorn was supposed to be like a little bit bigger. I toyed around with doing something where since you were originally a Ganassi like terraformer person, God in your mind wasn't going to be like somebody filled your memories. Like your memories were literally just scrambled, and I was going to use God and make that an abbreviation for some like department that you like something like that, where it was, you know, because I didn't have the concept originally of like Paylor doing
Geography,
all of this
originator,
stuff.
deities.
Like that all came later when I needed to tie everything together, and I was like, uh-oh, this isn't fucking good. This doesn't make sense. And then, you know, we had our conversation about things with Arthas and trying to like tie him more to stuff, and I was like, okay, let me weave these threads over here and rewrite stuff to the point where it like makes sense.
Yeah, pulling Elran into it.
Yeah, and making it make more sense, and then tying that to Brina. So I was like, all right, this is, you know, this works. This ties Hollum into it. Yeah, the rest of this I think is just character notes for like the original town, which pretty much remained the same. Nothing really changed there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for like my original stuff. I didn't have a lot when we started. I really didn't.
Go ahead.
So what's up with Penketh? Like, what the culinary capital? You know.
Yeah, there's like not a lot written for that. I would have written it if you chose to go there, but like it was just the culinary capital. But there's not I didn't have really a lot written for the towns that you guys didn't go to. Okay. I had conceptually like what it was. But, you know, I didn't have like. And that's why a lot of the NPCs are kind of like lifeless and not important, because I didn't have them. Like, it was just like, oh, how long have you lived here? Like, oh, fuck, I don't know, which is bad.
My memories.
Yeah, I just didn't have stuff. So, and then, you know, I fucked up a date that you had asked for something, and I was like, well, we're gonna time travel.
John's
now.
a tree.
John's a tree for 5 years, because I
That
had
would have been
to.
so much easier for you to just say, no, I misspoke.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Literally, it's like, hey, I'm really sorry. I said 15. I meant 10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
fine.
I just had to correct it. So I just made him a tree. And,
tree.
Yeah.
Panic!
Yeah. So let me go to my.
So what was I originally then? When I, in my backstory, was hit by lightning. that was it. Like I woke up and had the powers because like that was what I was assuming. I wasn't sure if you had any other intentions for that.
There was something with the. I think
The
it was
forest?
originally mostly because you were tainted. I still think I had the totem as like Elrond's memories or something because I think my original notes, like before we started, I changed it to make him a more crucial character. But this was like he was so overcome with grief that he wiped his memories. He wasn't tied to Melody at that point.
Yeah.
Like, none of that was a thing. So you essentially had his memories. Like that was all meant to be a thing.
Okay.
The lightning strike was like a combination of just the like magical energies in the forest that like tainted you. That's why you had the issues with your speech, because you were literally born on like tainted earth.
Yeah, so it was just the forest was being poisoned, and
By
I
Varian.
was born
and
at that
you were
time.
born in
Okay.
this tainted forest, and then you have the totem of the like watcher of the land, essentially. So,
Okay.
and then I shifted stuff around, and yeah. Let's see.
Was Wolfpine that way originally, with being like the dwarf/orc fuck town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that was the like half orcs that were in the Fractured Peak as a result of being like kidnapped. Were just like leaving and fleeing and made that town.
Okay. So where did the orcs originally live?
In the Fractured Peak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were there.
Yep.
And then Varian and his group kidnapped some.
Well, the reason that Wolfpine is created is because the orcs are like raiding the towns below and capturing humans, and then you end up with half orcs as a result of that.
Sure.
And then they're like, I gotta like fucking leave.
Okay.
So they don't want to live in the mountains, and they just flee down the mountains.
Sure.
Which is the easiest place to go. They're not going to be accepted in like Navalon. as
Sure,
everybody
yeah, and they
else.
don't want to go into the cursed woods.
Right,
Fair.
and they're not going to
Okay.
go north because they can only get there if they walk like out and up. So they're not going to go there. So they just go to the one spot that they can. Yeah.
Black Rock Cave. In
Uh,
terms of like that magical, unbreakable stone.
I think that was another thing where they were just like, which is also why there's not like an Underdark because there is nothing under
Yeah.
the land. It's just the land. That was, I think, something that was essentially what was under the rest of the earth, and they had just lifted it up and accidentally had left like a crack in there to have that cave be the way that it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was why they were so desperately trying to mine it, because they thought it was valuable, because this is the only place in the world we know that
Right.
this exists.
Yeah. This is nowhere else.
Okay.
We've never seen it. It's like impossible to break. You know, it's a centralized location. Yeah.
So what did the Syndicate of Scales want to do with it?
I hadn't thought it out because we changed a lot of that too, and weaved in the like drug stuff. So that kind of got like lost too. There wasn't really a thought process for that.
My thought was weapons and armor.
Yeah, they're
Like-
going to use it to balance the scales, right?
Yeah, exactly. That they felt like they were, you know, a lower quality grouping as an army, and they needed to improve, and they couldn't do it by numbers.
Right.
So if they can't do quantity, they could do quality.
Yeah, that's probably the conclusion I would have come to.
Yeah,
Because like
use the
genu-
drugs like a steroid too.
Yes,
Kinda
like
you know.
genuinely, my thought process was like the Grey Dwarves wanting the Elven Marble because it had magic resistance.
Right.
That's what I thought the Black Rock was going to give.
Yeah.
Was like spell immunity or protection from certain spells.
Sure.
That they needed to be able to like actually combat whoever they were. Who were they fighting?
They were just trying to balance. It was not really like one person in particular.
So they
It was
were just like upset with the overall like world order.
Yeah, they were essentially like the cards that we were dealt as people fucking sucks. We don't like it, so we're gonna like. It started off as something that was supposed to be good, and then got morphed into through the NPCs,
Yeah.
not through like my
No,
changes.
no.
Like
So
that
it
just
was
morphed
like
into.
I
want for
remember it
power.
being like pseudo Robin Hood-esque of take from the rich to give to the poor
Yeah,
to
and then
eat,
it just
like,
became-
equal
Yeah,
out.
yeah, and his brother took over.
Yeah,
and
his
it was
brother got
bad.
greedy and
Yeah.
ambitious and
Yep.
was like, I'm gonna fucking mutate that.
Yeah.
But like, that was my thought, was like, where is his end goal? Like,
I don't think he had one.
Take over the world? Oh.
yeah, like, is it actually world domination? Did he just want to establish, like, a town for these people? Like,
Yeah,
but
he
then you're just contributing to, like, that world order that you say you dislike.
At that point, he was so far gone with, like, drunk on power. Like, I just want to make this fucking scum town and make a lot of money. That's what it was. I mean, it was a
Yeah, it was
a
a town
scum
like
town.
thieves and shitty people.
Yeah. So, you know, at that point, his original motivations were just lost, and he was drunk on power and just wanted to continue making money.
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember if I ever explained what the Whisper's drug was.
Not that
Oh,
I
the
know of.
lavender?
Yeah. So what that was taking the white lavender from Merfeld and soaking it in the magical runoff
The red water.
waters. So what you were seeing, all of those weird wispy shadows, were actually other worlds stacked onto, like, your timeline, essentially.
Oh, God.
So you're seeing, that's why Lore was seeing ghosts. It's literally the figures of other people, which is why they were, like, walking in the ceiling.
So he
'cause
was actually seeing...
he was actually seeing
the
other
people on other planes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, from these other worlds that they had made. Yeah, that's what
That's
what the
wild.
concept for that was originally, was literally seeing and hearing the
Which
distant
is,
other
which makes
worlds.
sense because he was given, like, he was overdosed on it, so, like, which is why it was permanent.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Just having whispers flashbacks.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I gotta scroll back in my secrets channel.
So then I gotta ask about the gem.
Mm-hmm.
What was that all about?
So that was a result of, like, Virian's corruption affecting his mind,
Okay.
just to have control over him.
All right.
Yeah. Similar effects to the Whisper's drug.
Right.
But because Virian has the ability to terraform and can, you know, obviously knows about the other worlds, being able to communicate across that long distance is just affecting your mind in that way.
See, I always thought because the contents inside were described as like a flowy, smoky liquid, that it was the red water.
Yeah, it probably was like a small amount of that
Yeah.
among with other like gem runoff from things
That like
yeah, it
to
wouldn't
me,
have been the red
it
water.
was like
water.
literally absorbing through your skin because like you wore it under your cloak, right? So like that was, I thought it was like in him.
Yeah, it's
not
just, like,
physically
proximity.
in him. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
That's
even
fair.
when you had it, when he got closer to you, he started to see it again because it was bound to him.
him personally,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's why nobody else would see those weird whisper things, but they could speak with Virian, but it was bound to you, so you're getting, you know,
Yeah, the
mind
worst
fucked.
effects.
Yeah. All right. So the crystal ball puzzle in Elrond's tower. The way that was supposed to be solved originally, by shining the light on the balls, you lit them up with various colors, and then you shined light on them, moved the sundial around, and then opened the door. But it was never in the right sequence. Brina cast the light spell that the balls were all lit up while opening it, so you opened one of the portals, but you removed all of the other colored balls except for the one, which was, to be fair, the most important of the rooms. But each of those balls corresponded to a different room of Elrond's, with the dial
that
pointed
makes-
at them. So you would cast light, fix the dial to the one you wanted it to be, and it would portal to that room. So the rooms that
Yeah,
were...
we just brooded that one.
Yeah. An indoor garden with big stone lions with vines taking over the room and beautiful flowers of all different colors. A library with rolling ladders that were animated and would tell you the location of any book if you asked nicely. A bar-type workroom that had magical tankards to make any alcohol poured into it anti-hangover, and a music box that played any song asked of it.
Could have
Which,
taken over the town with that.
which had you given that to Juice, he would have allowed the half-orc and Terransby to go with you to Merfeld to help. A room with a single glyph inscribed on the floor in the center of the room that would have taken anyone that stands on it to the base of the tower outside. A crystalline arcane processing room where Elrond worked on crystals and his wands. An empty prison room that appears to have previously held a large beast of some kind. A cave room behind a large waterfall. It would have been the waterfall in the mountains. You would have been in a cave behind that on, like, the way north.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what that would have been.
What fucking beast?
Yeah, what beast?
What the fuck was that?
I hadn't figured it
It's
out.
the Yeti.
A lot of the stuff is for this stuff. I was looking through like different generators and things to find like interesting rooms to try to show the like mystery of who the fuck is this Elran guy? Like what is he actually? So it probably would have been like a big like griffin of some kind or something that in another world, another life he had like fucked around with in his like his separate planar space. One of the other things is you guys missed out on 400 gold because when you were fighting Isengren, he dropped a bag that he had been packing when you attacked him. And I said that he was holding it, and then you threw him back into the wall, but then left the bag, so that was just money, but that doesn't really matter.
Stayed in character.
Yeah.
Didn't brand it.
So with Isengren's wife, scraps of her clothing was found with blood and tracks in the woods, and that was the story that the Boulder Hill family told.
Yeah, that she got eaten by wolves.
Yeah, and you realized that this was suspicious, but I didn't do a great job of like giving you the opportunity to do follow-up on that.
Yeah, like investigations.
Yeah, her body was buried under the wooden veranda thing in the center of town, which is why that was like newer.
Okay.
Oh.
Why the fuck did they kill her?
Because it's in the Boulder Hill and Humblefall. Basically, once he had a son, doesn't need her anymore. Because the way that power is passed, his first child was his daughter.
Yeah, Koi.
Yeah, and then his second is...
No, Koi was a Humblefall, right?
Yeah.
Because Dekar was the Boulder Hill kid.
Yeah. There
Because
was one
Koi
other
was
one.
the Humblefall daughter.
Correct. But he wanted a son, and the original child was a daughter. I don't remember what her name was.
I thought he had a bunch of boys because we ran into the three sons.
Yeah, they
at
were
the
all
one.
drunk.
I think they were...
They were younger then.
They were all
They were
Boulder.
younger.
Yeah. So okay. So they had a daughter first, then had a son, and then three more sons, and then he just murdered.
No,
her.
I think those were grandchildren, not sons.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Oh, they were
Yeah.
Koi and Dakar's
Yes,
kids.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, he has Dakar.
Yep. And then
And just-
doesn't need her anymore. So, because he was just a power-hungry monster that only married her originally.
Yeah, to
To
have
try
a
to gain
son to
power.
try to
Yeah.
Was it-
take from the Humblefalls.
Yeah, he just was
Cora?
the worst.
Well, I
Or a
mean,
Boulder Hill?
generations of grueling
Possibly.
farm work will do that to you.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Like-
was they were stuck for generations and he was done with it.
How did he get access? So who the fuck started the shit with, like, the whispers and things like that? Because for what he did to Lore, did he just, like, stumble into that deal? Like,
I think so.
how did that connection for him start?
let me see if I
Because
have it
like
written,
that
'cause I
that
don't
was the
remember.
other curiosity I had was like he was using a thing that the criminal organization was using, but it required their lavender.
Yeah.
So it was like if that shit was it just whispers? Because whispers was obviously a drink.
I think originally the way that worked was they needed the farmland of the people in Murfeld because originally they were making things to make like costumes. That
Clothes,
part was
yeah.
accurate, but it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily this lavender stuff. They get approached by the syndicate like, hey, you have the largest farmland. Like, we will make a deal with you. You need to grow this and give this to us. And Isengren, being the leader of the family that runs the farming aspect of it, said, okay, I need this. Like, this person needs to go. They said, well, great. Here's this shit that we're going to combine with, with these flowers that you're making, and it's going to make him go insane.
Okay.
So they give him that in exchange for growing those. He puppets
Yeah.
Lore's son,
Yeah, Lon.
and then that's where that was going.
I had a question and it just gone that quickly.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Not real.
How old is this world? I don't know if we.
24 years, 3 months, and 14
Yeah,
days.
it was the timer on the cube.
Okay. So then, like, some of the older people, were they the ones that were transported?
They had memories put in them
Yep.
to
Okay.
make it feel like they had been here
Or people
longer.
like Alicax that didn't have any were just, we need filler, go. Paylor's like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like I can't have a realistic looking town if I've only got 13 real people.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
"Gah."
Yeah.
Yeah, he was stealing the people that he could get from, like, the vault of people that they were using in the different worlds.
So I'd say the Vault of Souls.
Yeah, the vault of souls.
One might say the Vault of Souls.
You know, he was taking souls, shoving them into
The what now?
some skin suits and throwing them down.
Ship them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shadow has the question of why did he hide her body in the center of town instead of just like
In the woods.
in the
there.
woods.
I think
Power
he just,
trip, like
yeah,
an
it was
ego
it was
thing
an
of
ego
like
thing of like just knowing that she would constantly be there under everyone's feet and it would never be found. Because their construction was like immaculate for all of that stuff in that town. So, you know,
Did we let him live? We did, didn't we?
Isengrin? Yeah.
yeah, he was in prison.
Got cleaned
Yeah,
up real quick.
we imprisoned him and he was in Terrans Bay and they said that, you know, he was just there because Lam apologized after old lady Zen fucking beat the shit out of him.
Yep. One of the other things which you guys obviously knew as you revealed more about the orcs were obviously escaping, not being, you know, they weren't raiding the ship when you guys fought them. They were obviously escaping.
Yeah, trying
at
to
that
get away.
point, which you guys knew that, you were told that, but
Yeah.
at the time it was a secret, so I had it written down. During the fight with the scary memory-eating orc slime monster, the longer that fight went on, it would have started transforming into people from your past that you did not recognize. So first it was your father.
Oh my god.
Then it would have transformed into other people that you didn't recognize to key in that like your memory hasn't like 100% been altered, because they would have been like, Arthas, help us. You're like, I don't know what the fuck this is. And after the fight, you would have had like flashes of memories similar to your vision that happened leading up to that point. But it didn't, because you didn't get affected enough by that fight. You guys killed it before that could progress further. So I'll read through originally when I had some plot lines that seemed like they made sense. I wrote this all down and I'll read it now. And I've already told this to you when we were talking about it the one time. I started laying it out with Oog having been abandoned at the base of the mountains and found by the Syndicate. But I wasn't able to get to the rest of it once I rewrote Norbury at the last second. So Nargal, the purple half-orc in charge of the tribes of the Fractured Peak, was the daughter of Burul, the original chieftain during the war with Verdural. She was half-elf and half-orc, maintaining the physical strength of her father's side and some of the elvish looks and intelligence of her mother. She was passed down the Hexblade pact that her mother had, but it was never explained as to what the power was, just told that she was special. Her mother raised her in the Fractured Peak and attempted to escape after several years with Nargal after the war with Verdural. As she decided the mountains were too dangerous and expected more dwarves to go to war, she was caught and killed by Burul because he was betrayed by her trying to escape. So she plotted to overthrow her father and avenge her mother's death, as well as destroy the dwarves that had driven them further into the mountains and started the war that resulted in her mother's death originally. So she took her baby half-brother Oog down the mountain in the cover of night and left him to fend for himself, so that way he would not eventually take his father's place, along his death being the male heir.
Yeah, as chieftain.
So then Oog is found by the Syndicate of the Scale shortly after, taken to the Black Rock Caverns, where he remained until you found him and took him back to Terransby. Nargal kills Burul as well as 3 other chieftains, as they saw her kill Burul as an utter betrayal and wished to kill her so they could take control of the Fractured Peak for themselves. And the rest back down after seeing her kill the other 3, because this is, she's too strong,
powerful.
fuck this, like, you got it. So Ugash originally served as second in command under Burul and did not challenge Nargal in the fight. As such, he was allowed to maintain his status in the tribes. He originally stood by her and her decisions. Only after the kidnappings of his people and Nargal's lack of doing anything did he begin to question her leadership and set out on his own to rescue his people from the ship. So Nargol, after slaying her father, declared herself a new name, which was Sembiam, which never came up. It was derived from the Elvish words for goddess and magical artifact because she believed herself to be a conduit for the gods, which is why she stole the large pillar from Black Rock Caverns to try to like channel her godly energies and speak with the gods. So they found the Syndicate of the Scale and attacked them while you were in Murfell dealing with Lam and Isengrin, which is why when you returned, shit was all like burned.
Yeah, and gone.
Had Oog been there, they would have taken him, so you did save his life by getting him out of there. Then you fought them. The couple that were there, and you cleared everything out and left. Yeah, a lot of this is stuff we already talked about with the original Norbury and like Dick Tips things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much the size of it.
Shadow's got a question for you and then for us. So,
Okay.
When the party was presented to you, what were your thoughts for a story idea? Once you had everybody's backstories in the beginning.
So Paul's I think was the last one that I got after I gave everybody the map. And I was hoping that he would pick the tall mountains, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Of course.
Fell
He
right into
fell right
Yes.
into my trap.
A Paul trap,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me that too. You're like, oh, when did you pick those?
I was hoping that he would, and he did. I tried to work their stories into my concept for a world rather than build the world around their stories because I had already made the map at that point. So that was just something that I came up with on my own, and then I tried to work in their stories into things that I had designed to try to make it feel like they were a cohesive part of it the best I could.
And then the second one is to each of us. How do we feel about our tie-ins to the story?
I mean, off the bat, there's no way for me to have known this beforehand, and no way for Nick to have predicted this, but basically my backstory was not compatible with this world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with the short timeline of events and the fact that the world is completely isolated, my character
wanting to be a traveler.
wanting to be a traveler and explorer, and like learn, stories of people and everything, didn't.
Yeah, because you gave me that part of it like a week before we started,
Yeah.
after everything else, and I was like...
At that point, it's like
Yeah,
there's
it's-
nothing you can do to change the entire
Yeah, and
concept
it's also
of the world.
you can't tell her like, oh, there's nothing else
Yeah,
because
I
like
can't
that's
tell her, right.
that's campaign ruining
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
But like that was just misfortune, I think.
Yeah, genuinely, I think
on my
like
part.
in the instances where we have struck lightning in a bottle,
Mm-hmm.
like and been very fortunate to have things line up. This was an instance where unfortunately it didn't. But that shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, when I gave you Ukubos, like, I told you, do what you want with what I have created.
Yep.
I have conceptually the idea of this feral man-child Furbolg who is, this peacefully minded, nature-loving man who has never been accepted in society and,
Yep.
has no control whatsoever over this magical effect that has isolated him and forced him to be abandoned. But, like, I remember when I talked to you about it, it was like, you don't need to tie me in. I'll establish connections for myself. If you have ways that you want to weave me in, go right ahead. Like, I'm not opposed, but I didn't want you to feel obligated
Yeah.
because, like, I don't know. I wanted to go through the experience of figuring out the character
As you played.
As
not
I played.
Ahead of time. Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, that was one of the fundamental things that I think, like, in Fall was very apparent. Was Grimdar was, like...
Grimdar was nothing at the beginning of the
Yeah,
game.
Grimdar
It's
was,
just
like
I
a very
elves
completely
suck, I
different
guess.
dude for the first, like, 4 to 5 episodes. And
Yeah.
shit started going wrong and got weird, and it was, like... Grimdar's a moron. Grimdar is, like, no common sense, but, like, incredibly loyal and loving and honest and sincere, and that's how I'm gonna play him now, because
Yeah.
that's what feels right to the character.
Yeah, and I just said such dumb shit that the NPCs were like, "You fucking absolute
Yep.
dumbass," and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna keep saying stuff like that, so might as well play into it because they're gonna yell at me."
But I think that that's a thing, that I think that there's like, there is a nature that is organically developed for a character.
Yeah.
Because even in the first episode for Ukubo, he was more articulate
Yep.
than he actually was. Like, I didn't settle into that until midway through episode, 2 into episode 3, where I was like, no, in retrospect, seeing how isolated he was, I don't even think he would have the communication skills that I thought he might have in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because all of his backstory, when he would go into a place in his disguised form, that fucking Bruce Wayne looking man, he didn't communicate with people because he couldn't.
Yep.
So it was like, no, his language should be almost completely unformed.
Yep.
I need to work that in better into the character and into his mentality, and then it's, the full social breakdowns and everything. But you tied me in really nicely. I'm happy that the events that I gave you stayed true and sincere, and you just gave them purpose.
Yeah.
And that was why I tried, because for Ukubo's descriptions, it was my life as a child, accidentally hurting a kid, being exiled by my own parents who walked me down the mountain just like Oog, which is why I cared so much for him as a person, because it was literally the same thing was done to me. And that's why we're kindred spirits.
Yep.
But I described the lightning at the bottom, I described the weird rock formation, finding the totem, and those were the identity forming things. And then I just skipped essentially the next 15 years as I wandered until I found a new safe woods. And that was the Falkirk Glen outside of Terrence Bay.
Yep.
And I didn't interact with people. I disguised self to steal whatever I needed in the beginning to survive for clothing and food. And then I just hid away in the Falkirk Glen and took care of animals.
Yeah.
But in terms of what I wanted in the campaign, you structured it in nicely.
No, you were here before me.
All right, so for my tie-in, obviously my backstory was different than what Don had created, but it was close enough where it was so for my tie-in it was a bunch of half-truths, which during the entire campaign made it very complicated and confusing when I would obviously channel and attempt to speak to Pelor. Once you threw in fake Pelor, though, that was great. That helped a lot.
No, he's
it
fucking
also made
hysterical.
it also made it more confusing, but it was at least
Pelor.
at least it wasn't there was something.
Yeah.
So it was definitely interesting. I really liked my tie-in a lot because it was essentially what I had given you was I was from a place where it was all humans and dragons, and gods would occasionally visit and things like that, and they would choose people to do certain tasks, and I was chosen to tip the scales towards good, being that this is a new world. I had no idea what you had planned. I was I'm sure there's going to be a lot of evil shit going on.
Yep.
Why not? And then you had obviously kind of taken half that and said, yeah, half of it's true in a different way.
Right.
And which I thought was really cool. I like the idea and the way that everything tied together. But playing through, especially the beginning and things like that, it was
it was confusing.
I was on track A, but the campaign was on track B. Or,
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But it was interesting.
Yeah.
I did like it a lot, and I really liked the way that you tied everything together.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, coming in in the
20
episodes,
not
yeah.
even in the middle, 2/3 of the way in, really.
Yeah.
I kind of had the same philosophy that it sounds like John had of here's the thought of what I have, and you and I talked about because the world was a little more established, and I was jumping into an established party in the middle of a story.
Yeah.
But just saying here's the stuff that I have, do what you need to do with it to, to tie me into the world how you need me to be tied in so that it makes sense for me to be here instead of me trying to come up with just 100% of everything and then you trying to fit
shove it in places.
a puzzle piece that doesn't fit into an existing puzzle.
Yeah.
And so, a very similar experience in that. So, I mean, I really liked my tie-in. I felt like even from that first episode that I was in, that you did a good job of planting things that gave me a character reason to be present with the group. And there were, and you and I have talked about this, but there were only a couple of times, and it was revisiting stuff that had happened to everybody else that I wasn't present for.
Yeah. Yes.
Where I was like, I don't have anything in this episode.
Right.
And that wasn't really an issue with my tie-in as much as like, you know,
we're going through stuff
it's
that they
like
experienced
it's
already.
like, you know, this is all, you know,
Yeah,
jokes and comments and
pre-Lawrence.
references to things that occurred that I literally wasn't here for.
Yeah.
The same way as like you jump into a new friend group and
Right.
you don't know all
Yeah, it
of
takes a while to catch
their
up.
like group jokes, and you don't know all the
Yeah, the
references
inside
to
humor.
things that you know what I mean. Even like
Yeah.
you guys talking about things with Fall. Like I've not watched Fall, so like
Right.
the more I'm around, I pick up on that.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it bears less relevance to me
Yeah,
than it does to
absolutely.
people
Yes.
that actually lived it. So
I also have not watched Fall, so
I feel less bad then because at least I'm not in a relationship with him.
like I obviously was here when like it was happening, so you'd
Yeah.
be like, oh my god, this happened today, and it's like the context for that doesn't exist.
Really
for me,
weird.
So.
Like, yeah, we broke into a temple and John, we killed a bunch of apes. Like, oh my god, like what the fuck?
By the way, what's your mother's name?
That was such a good
What did you
moment.
call her?
Just didn't have it.
So good.
What was
Momdar.
it though?
Momdar. Obviously.
I always just called her Mom Dar. What? What do you mean?
This was the.
I didn't know my grandmother's name
the only
for the
answer.
longest time.
Grandar was over 100, so
He's
Yeah, that's
130 years old. He doesn't know his mother's
Yeah,
That's
name.
fair.
Oh my
Those
god.
trolls really beat the minds out of you. Oh my god. That was the cost for your backstory.
Yep.
Fighting all those trolls. You didn't
Yep.
have a mind
yeah,
anymore.
yeah, they beat my head a lot.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah, you
Oh,
didn't
you
actually kill them.
yeah,
They
you didn't
beat
do
the
it.
shit out of you.
Yeah, they
Tarhan rescued
left you
you
for
bloody
dead.
on the beach.
Yeah,
like,
the
with,
teeth in the hammer were my teeth, and
Yep.
they broke it. I was like, yeah, it's the trolls. I kicked their asses.
Yeah,
It's
you had like
amazing.
9 simultaneous concussions. We're in a coma for months.
You should have had -2 to your int.
Yep.
Episode 3.
I played it like that.
Episode 3. Just take the stat reduction.
Well, chat, we have, just a few minutes if anybody has any final comments or questions, or if you guys have anything else. We only have like 2 minutes.
Thanks for DMing.
Yeah, dude,
Thanks.
for real.
Thank
Like,
you for playing.
You should be proud of what you did. Like, again, we're all learning. It's not remotely easy. It's conceptually a fun as fuck thing to do. It bears a lot of stress, and I'm very appreciative and grateful that you bore that stress and anxiety for us for the last fucking year, and I genuinely think you should be fucking proud of it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was a very enjoyable experience.
Looking
Despite
forward to the next one.
Me too.
Yeah.
I really am. I think I have more written for that than I had for maybe this entire
Oh
campaign. So,
Thank you,
goodness.
Octane.
Octane,
Jesus
thank you for the
Oh, thank
gifted
you.
sub. I appreciate it. That's
Oh,
the final.
it's a lot.
Oh, it's 10 again.
Yep.
God, I just can't. I can't fucking read. It's insane because it pops up and says like gifted a tier 1 sub to this person. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. That's so kind of you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
One
sincerely.
hell of a comment.
Thank
Thank you so much. Jesus, I'm so fucking blind. It's unbelievable.
Favorite moment.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
I don't. It's the same thing with me where it's really hard for me to pick like a favorite film,
movie
favorite
or-
thing.
yeah.
I can never pick like one moment that sticks out as like I just loved all of it. I just loved making you guys laugh and smile. I think
I thought you were gonna pick Lore yelling
that's what I was going to say.
and
I was just about
scaring
to say that.
everyone else.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. That was
Yep.
definitely one of my favorite moments because that was where I felt the most like tied into that character as an NPC. Like I, in that moment, was that character, and I don't know that happened a whole lot during the rest
We're
of the
all, like,
campaign. I liked
leaning
Varian's
in.
speech at the end because that was like the one time I got to like do like a monologue thing, so that was pretty cool.
And Sarah almost cut you off.
Yeah.
You thought about it, right?
I thought about it.
That's like a taboo. They were
Yep.
like, listen, the DM does a lot of work. If you cut them off during their like villainous speech, it's the one thing they
Yep.
get.
To
Let
be
them
fair,
have
it
their
would
moment.
be very barred if you.
Oh,
cut
yeah.
them off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
Yeah, probably those two moments
yeah.
were like the big things. But I mean, just all of it. Just seeing you guys laugh at just this absolute moronic shit that I came up with off the top of my
Brendan
head.
Fraser sat on.
Yeah, I had to do that. Like
That wasn't off the top of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was prepped. That was in
Yeah.
a pocket. Where can I put this in?
yeah, where can I
What's his
slip
name?
this
Brendan.
Yeah, because we had been talking about that for a week prior. So
Yeah.
I was like, this is going in.
It's him.
But that is also the beauty of like the campaign being a bit of a mess. Is I could just insert stuff anywhere.
You're just like, I'll figure out.
Like, I'll
Yeah,
fucking-
fuck
I
it.
I don't have anything anyway, so I'll figure it out as we go along. So that was an interesting experience. But yeah, sincerely, thank you guys very much for giving me a year of your time to play through. Dad, that was good too.
Yeah.
That's great. That one was really fun.
Not again.
Didn't he show up in Terransby too?
Yes.
Mom?
Yeah, he showed up at the portal at the end too, when everyone was
He was
saying goodbye.
confused.
He was like, "What the fuck, Dad? Gotta go." It was good. It was really good. Oh man. Shadow, as for a schedule, I don't know yet. We're working on it. I mean, physically days, it will be Tuesdays at 6 o'clock, Fridays at 6 o'clock, and Sundays at 5 o'clock once DJ's campaign starts and we get back to Oshwamp and mine starts. For right now, it's Prince's at 5 on Wednesdays and then a Fireside Chat or something on
On
Fridays,
Fridays.
probably. Yeah, once we get back to stuff in mine should be like August, but I don't know. I still have a lot of work
Did
to
you
do.
tell everyone like the title and everything?
Yeah, the Lost Kings of Adoris is my next campaign. Sarah has done the logo for that.
This is our.
It's in the Discord, I think, but I'll post it when I get back to my computer because it's going to be hard to see from here. But Sarah did this. She drew this by
Yeah,
hand.
this one.
Do you
This
want to
one's
hold it in
mine.
front of the camera?
Yeah,
So
we'll see if
closer.
they can see it. It's a screen, so it's going to be hard, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's so bright, but yeah, you can't see it too
Rip.
well, but it's fine.
You can see something.
But yeah, that'll be Settandor 2.0 is this next campaign, which I'm really excited about. We're gonna have 6 players. It's gonna be Lawrence, Paul, Sarah, John, and then Mike Fizzlewick from Prince's and his girlfriend Autumn. So it's gonna be a fucking stacked campaign, and it's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So. Yeah, I'll post more about that as we get closer and figure out everything. I don't know when we're going back to like costumes and stuff. I don't know what the plan is for that.
Right now it's a
Yeah, right now it's a safety thing. We're trying to not,
Yeah.
do that. But
limit the amount of like cross contact and
yeah, just out of
Yeah,
an
they're-
abundance of safety.
they're
so,
all in the closet.
yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. But it'll be a good time, and I'm looking forward to it. So. Thank you guys again for playing. And chat, thank you guys for watching for the past year of this. Really appreciate it. So,
Thanks for sticking around.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
you.
Especially for the people that have come back after we took a literal 3-month like hiatus because of COVID. I appreciate you immensely for coming back because it is very hard. I know, like, I've not gone back to certain TV shows that, take a
Yeah,
hiatus or
you take
whatever,
a break from and you just forget.
I just never
and it's
watch
like,
them because I forget
whatever.
everything. So the people that are here, legitimately, thank you. I appreciate it.
And with the new campaign starting, great time to get your friends.
Yeah,
invested.
great timing. Bug everyone.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah,
your
bring
grandmother to
them in.
watch. She'll probably hate it, but make her do it.
She might
Make
not.
Cam
There's
Jam do
grandmas
it.
who play D&D.
It's true, but she
Not
she
like
might
us.
hate it.
Not like us. But maybe they weren't always grandmas.
It's profound.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that.
true, Luna. Thank you.
What a way to wrap things up.
Yeah.
They weren't always.
They weren't
grandmas.
always grandmas. Let me tell you that.
Let's remember,
Yeah.
there was an era where.
Just bring your grandmother. That way she can hear us say "fuck you, Don" at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
I'll miss doing that for the next month and a half.
Yeah. And
Fuck you.
Octane. Thank you. And Octane, if you for the podcast that you're listening to Settandor, if you go to the creator of that podcast, which is Not Great RPG, there's also the other campaign, which is Not Great Dungeon Crawlers, which has the Island of Fall and then Oshwamp up to the point that we've played too. So once you're done with Settandor, there's also those two campaigns if you haven't listened. So
Lovely.
yeah, and then there will be a third. When DJ starts, we'll have a third podcast under the same brand. I don't know. That might want to just be like DJ's Brain or something. I don't know. it'll be a Not Great something.
I
Not
cannot
Great
wait
Brain.
to
The
watch
Not
the
Great
homebrew
podcast.
campaign.
Yeah, dude, like him doing Princes has been hysterical. I'm very eager for him to homebrew shit and me
Yeah.
to just be like, so how about this? And him to be like, oh no.
Well, because then he can say that there's 4 pillars in a room, and it doesn't matter if there was 15. Now there's 4.
There's 4.
Because it doesn't
He's
matter. It's
free.
his world.
Yup.
I feel
safe.
like he's still going to back up and tell you the actual
wait.
number.
Yep.
Like, never mind, I wrote 15, I'm sorry.
It's actually 57. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday at 5 o'clock for Princes of the Apocalypse. Good night, friends.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Good night.